Welcome to the inside of my Tesla Model X. It's a 2022 refresh. It's a 5-seat configuration. It's a long range, sitting on 20s. We don't have FSD, but we do have the Yoke. That's right, this is a polarizing piece of equipment, and today's video is all about the Yoke. We're going to put it through its paces. You're going to see me using the Yoke in many different driving configurations. Regular driving, highway driving, street driving, backing up, doing a U-turn. Everything that we need to do when we're driving a car, I'm going to do, and you're going to watch my Yoke. In addition, we're going to talk about the controls. How well do I like them? How well do I dislike them? And overall, I'm going to give you my opinion at the end of the video. I hope that you'll stay to the end of the video because watch time is important to the YouTube algorithm. Subscriptions, comments, likes, all of it matters. And I'm hoping that you will support us by doing all of it. Thanks so much. I'm Chris Fox. This is Northeast Tesla. Let's get into it. So as we begin, we got to move. So we're going to put the car in reverse, get out of the parking space that I'm in right now in a parking lot, and start driving around some city streets. Hit the brake, put it in reverse, and let's go. Now, having to get used to this Yoke has been a challenge, to say the least. I actually think that it would have been better had they completed the technology with fly-by-wire so that we're not having to go all the way over as we wind our way through traffic, as we wind our way through side streets with lots of cars. But unfortunately, Tesla sometimes jumps before it thinks about what it's doing. And that's just the nature of the company, unfortunately. Here I am having to, again, make a big turn, let the wheel come back, and catch it. I've had the Model X in my possession now for, let's see, almost 2 months. So I feel that I've gotten very used to it. I have to think quite a bit about driving when it comes to this car. It's not something where you just get in the car and go. You have to be aware of what you're doing. This is a completely alien experience. Driving with a Yoke that isn't wire to wire means you're not doing full turns, you're not using your muscle memory, you're developing all new muscle memory. And as you're doing that, you're having to remember, don't reach up here, there's nothing there. I found myself early in this process making those mistakes. Fortunately, like I said, I'm staying focused, I'm being careful, I'm watching my speed, and making sure that the training that I'm putting myself through with this Model X is solid. You know, not having the top of the wheel is very, very impactful. So now we're going to do a U-turn, and then we're going to hit a roundabout. So here I have to push down, bring it all the way up and over to make the U-turn. And if I wanted to be in the other lane to the left, I'd have to go even harder over. Now I'm going to be coming over here to this roundabout. Now this is a rather tight roundabout, and we'll see how this goes. I push down to the left, bring the wheel back around. I'm keeping my right hand free to catch it when it comes back. Now it comes back, and I got it. And now we're back at the U-turn. So we're going to execute the U-turn again, but this time we're going to keep it really tight and try to get back into that hard left lane. Here we go. And there we go. how to let go of the wheel so it would bring itself back, because I certainly don't want to break a wrist. But you can make the tight turns. You just have to have your mind really clear on what you're doing. Here we are at the roundabout again. I'm going to take it nice and slow this time. And as I go, I'm just kind of doing the hand to here, and I'm holding, and now I'm bringing it back, and this hand picks it up. And now we're back at this U-turn. So let's just take this U-turn one last time. I come to a stop. I hit my directional, and I'm making the U-turn. Another thing you have to take in consideration is the torque. While you're driving and turning the wheel, depending on how much power you put into this, impacts how hard you have to be steering, how tight you have to hold it, what you're trying to do, where you're trying to do it. So here's a unique situation coming up. It's a left turn U-turn. So I have to first get into the left-hand lane here. And then we're all doing this fish hook. So it's hard left, but go wide in order to make the turn. Not a typical left, but you're going to have to deal with all sorts of different driving conditions. And that's just one of the conditions you have to deal with. So now let's back in and park at the curb. So I pull up alongside, drop it in reverse, get past his car, and then start making the cut so I don't destroy my rims. I gotta come forward. Come back. Forward again. And he's got plenty of room to park. Now here's an odd situation. I need to park on the street, but I have to park on the left side. So let's give this a shot. Put on my directional, throw it in reverse. He's got a trailer hitch that I have to be careful of. Gotta bring it back around and go forward. Bring it back. And center it between the cars. There you have it. All right, let's pull out of here and find someplace else to check out. And away we go. Again, I'm having to find new and different handholds to figure out where's the best place to hold this for different scenarios. When I have a hard turn, when I've got an easy turn. Sometimes I'll use my finger and hook it for the left. Sometimes I'm going to have to go all the way over and pull it back. It just isn't all that intuitive right now. and that's challenging. We are now on the highway. We are driving along, still focused on the yoke. Now, here on the highway, you're not expected to have to make major, movements with the yoke. You're making subtle adjustments. Maybe you're going to turn a little bit to get into one lane or into a different lane, but you're not definitely turning it hard over, unless of course there's some kind of massive accident or you're getting off on a very sharp turn for an off-ramp. In general, driving with the yoke on the highway isn't that bad. You got to figure out what location for your hands is most comfortable for you. I tend to drive like this on long distances, but one of the challenges is if you don't have a firm enough grip on the yoke, you're going to get a warning from the car saying, hey, you need to put a hand on the wheel, both hands on the wheel, especially when you're in autopilot. Now we're going to talk about the controls. The controls, I don't know. It's nice that they glow in the dark, but it's highly annoying that they are not raised icons that you can feel. Having that tactile feeling so that you can, oh, okay, rub your finger over. This is definitely going to be my left directional. Oh, this is definitely my right directional. This is definitely the microphone. This is definitely the windshield wiper. Many times while I'm learning how to use this yoke over the past month or so, 2 months, I have to look down. I have to look to make sure I'm hitting the right button. I have hit the wrong directional countless times, and that does nothing but confuse people who are behind me, and that's not fair to them. Another interesting topic has been an issue with the area where the airbag is. They call it the worm. Now, the worm is basically a seam built into every car. Every car that has an airbag in the steering wheel, in the yoke, has a worm. Some are more pronounced than others. The worm is essentially a crease that is carved into the material so that when the airbag must deploy, it has a clear, easy path. It's not busting through a solid surface. There's a indentation. There's a minor pre-cut that's been done, and that is what you call the worm. Depending on the angle you're looking at it, depending on the light, you can see the worm or you can't see the worm. Here, I'm highlighting, here's the worm. And for me, it's not a big deal. Now the question persists. Do I love it or do I hate it? Well, to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure. I definitely know that I do not love it at all. I do not love the yoke. But do I hate it? I can't say that I hate it. It's something I'm just going to have to get used to. You see, when I was younger, when I turned 16, I got a driver's license and a car. And that car came with a stick shift, a clutch, and a steering wheel, and stalks. And eventually, I got used to it. I learned how to drive. I drove safely, and I drove all the time. Then over time, different cars came and went, and so did the stick shift, and so did the clutch. I still had a steering wheel. I still had stalks. But now at 54, Elon has taken away my steering wheel and my stalks and left me with an unfinished product. I say unfinished because in my opinion, it really is. It really should have fly-by-wire controls. It really should have raised icons so that you can feel with touch what you're doing. And that's not going to change, at least not for me. I could go out and buy a third-party steering wheel, but I'm not putting another dime in this car that I don't have to. Definitely not, especially what they're charging. It's ridiculous. So for me, I'm just going to have to get used to it. That's the verdict. I'm just going to have to get used to it. I want to thank you very much for staying with us this long. I really appreciate it. It really helps with the channel, you watching the entire video. I appreciate you being here, and also I hope that you'll subscribe to this channel. I hope that you'll like this video. I hope that you'll hit that notification bell. If I do another review on this yoke in 6 months, I want you to watch it. So find out if I do love it or if I do hate it in the end. Also, if you leave a comment, I'm going to reply. I'm Chris Fox. This is Northeast Tesla, and I'll see you on the next one.